So today we're here with Carlos Acuña and Isaac Uribe, two icons of art and style here in San Miguel.
Oh my goodness.
Well, that's very kind of you.
It's very kind.
You are indeed. So let me just start by asking you, first of all, where each of you is from in Mexico and why you came to San Miguel and when. Isaac, why don't you start?
I'm from Irapuato, Guanajuato. I went to the university in Guanajuato in 1966, 67. And then I was going to study chemistry, but then one of the teachers tried to screw me, and I said no because I don't like you. And so he put me 0
No.
in the chemistry. And then I was in the dance group of at the university, and then I met the man with whom I went to the States. I was at age 19. And then went there, came back, moved to San Miguel because I had some friends like Carmen Beckman, Jerry Levy, and Carmen Delgadillo. They used to own the bookstore.
And so what year was that you came to San Miguel?
To live?
Yes.
1973.
Okay.
Only 51 years ago.
Yeah. And Carlos, where are you from and why and how did you come to San Miguel?
I'm from the northern part of Mexico, the state of Sonora, from a copper mining town named Cananea. And I studied abroad in the States at the University of Arizona. But I came to work to Guadalajara, and from there, I moved to San Miguel de Allende. That was 41 years ago, 1983. I came here as manager of Allen W. Lloyd. They used to call it Lloyd's, but the name was Allen W. Lloyd.
And for many years, especially a lot of foreigners used Lloyd's as our bank.
Well, it was
the only one.
It was really
Broker.
geared towards foreigners.
Yes.
And it was the first one of those first. It was not a bank. It was an intermediary bank and investment and insurance.
And we would make our request to withdraw funds and then wait in line with all our friends, and it was a big social meeting place as well, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was a small business. There were only 5 of us.
Right.
Manager, assistant manager, the teller, and the secretary, and the bellboy.
And then what year did you two meet?
We met that same year in the summer. I came here in January, and we met in the summer.
Okay. So, you are well known for starting one of the first art galleries here in San Miguel. Tell us how you came to start that gallery and the history of the gallery. So why don't I start with you, Isaac?
Well, I used to be a party guy. Every night we used to go to the discos because there were 7 discos in San Miguel at the time.
And which was your favorite disco?
The 7.
Oh, okay.
So I used to go to all of them with first alone. And because San Miguel still is in certain ways. The local people from here
Right.
are quite close. They don't open their doors to not many people, right? And so, since I was living with a writer for children books, and that's how I met him, because he came from New York to Marfil. Marfil is a colony of Guanajuato. To make Garth Williams to finish 2 books that they had contract with Harper and Row, and Garth was lunatic, wonderful guy though, and at a party at Josefina Chanoves in San Matias, that was an hacienda. He invited the whole dance group. She invited the whole group, and the actors. We were like 50 people, and among them it was June Brown and Harry Brown and Jan, and it's where I met him.
So tell us a little bit more about how you and Carlos decided to start an art gallery.
Okay, at that time, Isaac was working with Sylvia Samuelson, who owned the oldest art gallery, right in the Harding. And I was still a manager of Lloyd's, and then Isaac decided, well, it's time to move along, and we opened the art gallery, since I've been very interested in art since I was born.
So the first gallery you opened was on Mesones, correct?
Corner of Hidalgo.
Corner
Exactly.
of Hidalgo.
We were there for 2 years, and then they sold the building, so we moved to Cuna de Allende, where the restaurant is now, Quince.
Right.
We were there for 11 years, and then they sold the building, so we moved to Jesus for the chocolate places, and we were there for 18 years.
So when you opened the gallery, your primary focus was on artists from San Miguel, or I know you had
No.
Sergio Bustamante.
They were all
No.
from
No, we opened the gallery with artists from Mexico City.
that's what I'm saying, not from San
At
Miguel.
there's a garden, which is called El Jardín del Arte,
Uh-huh.
and every Saturday and
Sullivan Park,
Sunday,
right?
Sullivan Park, every Sunday, they have a community, an association, where you inscribe yourself in, and then they give you the authorization legally
Mm-hmm.
to exhibit and sell your work, and then you pay dues, for being there. So we went there like 4 or 5 Sundays, and we liked certain artists.
We met a lot of
and
artists that we thought were.
And this was in Mexico
Mexico
City.
Mexico City. So we brought it from Mexico to
We
San
bought the
Miguel.
art and brought them and started.
Right. So you were showing very few San Miguel artists.
No, they didn't want.
They were not
to
from San
exhibit.
Miguel.
No, they didn't want to exhibit with us. Let's put it that way.
They were with Sylvia,
Or on their own.
or on their own. Okay.
Because Fernando, Fernando de Lagundi,
Yes, I do.
he opened a gallery too
Okay.
later on.
Okay.
And in there was Jim Giampoli, Romeo Tabuena, Eugenia Lewis,
Uh-huh.
and another one. There were like 5 or 6.
But at the time you opened your gallery, you were like the second or third gallery in San Miguel.
It was really
The
the
second.
second then.
The second gallery. And one thing that I remember, because I was here in the 80s as well, is that your gallery had a variety of forms of art. You had jewelry, and you had sculpture, and you had
Exactly.
paintings. It was not strictly a painting gallery,
No,
correct?
it was
Gallery,
general art
it was
gallery.
watercolor,
Yes.
photography.
Uh-huh.
Even weavings,
Weavings.
all kinds of art.
We made the first exhibition of woven legends from Texas
Uh-huh.
on Mesones, and this that company, Woven Legends.
I don't, but that's
It's
okay.
really Oriental rugs, right? Persian rugs.
Okay.
From
I don't
Persia.
think you were here then.
Immense. It's like a immense place in Texas. So they brought in from Texas like over 150 rugs, different sizes, kilims, name it.
So how did your gallery fit into the social scene in San Miguel? How did you feel about?
Well,
did
it-
you have
it-
opening parties?
Oh, yeah.
It was a big attraction. We had the best exhibitions with cocktail openings, with music, hors d'oeuvres. Very creative. For example, this Woven Legends exhibition. It was not like the rugs were rolled or you. It was
No.
like they were hung on the walls, and then everyone dressed like
Oriental.
Arabs, or we try to make it always very exciting for people, something new.
And your clientele back in those days was primarily from Mexico City. That
No.
was
No.
U.S. Americans
And
and
Canadian.
Canadians and some
and
Mexicans.
primarily from San Miguel, or
No.
No, that would
tourists?
visit. That would visit.
Okay.
Some lived here, but their friends would visit, so it was word of mouth, and that's how it started growing. And then we started showing Bustamante. We did very well with him, and then he decided to open his own gallery here on Mesones, right across the street from where we had the gallery. And we said, well, we're going to lose him if we don't buy the franchise. So we did. And then in 2 months, got rid of that, paid for the big investment, and started selling jewelry, which is very, very upcoming.
Right. So, who were some of the other artists that you felt were most successful in your gallery and that you enjoyed showing?
Well, they were all probably from Mexico City. Fernando
Well, from
Perez
here
Nieto.
was the Greta Waldes.
Uh-huh.
She really had immense trust in our business, and also James Pinto used to make the little, very unique pieces like this size, and we used to sell them very well. And of locally, well, that's it, I think.
Yeah, the rest were like from Mexico City
Yeah.
or from the U.S., Canada.
Yes.
David Wright was a big
Later, yeah.
seller.
Yes.
Lovely paintings.
Oh, it's one of them. He gave us that little one over there.
And during that time, when did you start your real estate business? Was that after the gallery or
No,
during
it's also
the same time?
during the same time when we moved to Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started. That was like 27 years ago. And it made sense because people would ask me about, if they were going to buy a home, and I would send them to people. So I said, well, you know what? After all, I'm showing it, so might as well. And I started really big. I was president of the association for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the boom started. And the way we worked together with
Well,
the MLS style.
you made the AMPI people here. Originally, there were like 6 realtors or 4.
There were like 6 of us, really, with the old timers. Now, how the association has grown.
Horrible.
There is 270 of us, including brokers and agents.
Wow. And how many art galleries do you think are in San Miguel now?
Look, people believe there's a lot, but they're really studios. An art gallery should show work from different artists,
Right.
not just one artist that's the painter and he's showing his work. That's a studio.
Uh-huh.
Art galleries, I don't know, there's still not that many. It's mostly
Oh, no.
studios.
Okay.
About 10, probably.
So San Miguel has grown enormously since you came here.
Yeah.
Correct.
And how would you characterize the social life and the cultural life of San Miguel when you came compared to what you feel it is like now?
Well, it was more.
Well, the difference is that there's more people, new people, which you don't know. Before, the smaller the town is, the more intimate, the more you get to know each other and you socialize more. When the city grows, well,
No, and,
You know.
and also when I came here, there were 25,000 people in the whole town and the community. And the people were very unified because all the foreigners will work together free. For instance, at the Atención, it was Mimi Loomer and Eve Green. Mimi Loomer was the gossiper of the town. I have 1 or 2 somewhere. And Eve Green was used to write the articles about new people coming in and blah blah blah. and all of them worked free, you know, and very professionally because every week will be something new and almost no advertisement. You know, Bugambilia was one of the few ones. El Pegaso of Harold Black and Louis. Oh, no, anyway, and that was it. But the community worked together uh, to create theater and invite musicians through Tom Sawyer. He was
Sawyer.
the one that founded
Mm-hmm.
the festival,
Mm-hmm.
and he will invite people with his wife to come. And it was, for instance, Blanche Truss. She had been theater director on off Broadway in New York, and she found the theater group in San Miguel.
So there was a real spirit of let's get together as a
Oh yeah,
community and put it together.
yes,
Exactly.
And,
especially from foreigners. Mexicans were never involved. The woman who, I mean, somebody should put a name, a street in with her name in San Miguel is Margaret Schwartz, because she was the one that found
Found it.
The Red Cross, the library, the fire squad,
yeah, the,
bomberos,
yeah.
and started the SPA.
You're describing that there was a lot of energy with the foreign community to create new organizations. But in general, how would you describe the connection between the Mexican community and the foreign? Was there a serious kind of divide? Or
No,
no,
we
it was
just
just who was organizing things.
we just lived like corn and beans
Right.
together,
But apart.
but together but not mixed.
Right, right.
I guess it all depended
And also,
on the
many
people.
people didn't want to
Mm.
learn Spanish. I
Mm.
mean, who was living here for like
Well, there
25
were some
years,
foreigners that
and many Mexicans didn't know how
don't
to
really
speak
try,
English.
so
Right,
they don't get involved, you know.
right.
But in general, we all intermingle.
Yeah, it was
It's
amiable,
it's
the
always
relationship.
been very nice. But now the city's grown so much that
And so, how do you feel it has
Mm.
changed, other than the
Mm.
increase in population? How would you describe what you feel the vibes and the community is now?
Well,
I
still,
mean, is it
it's
less
still
pleasant?
no,
Or-
it's still
no,
working.
it's always pleasant.
right,
Yeah. The last time we went to the theater to see the monologue
right,
of
right.
yeah, it was
Mhm.
wonderful. And the people made line to say hello to the actor and the actress, and they were very amiable, very pretty, you
So
know.
you still love the community that you chose so many
Oh
years
Oh
yes,
yeah,
ago.
yes.
Okay.
yeah.
So, Carlos, I want to ask you about your association with tango and how you got started and what that community was like or is like in San Miguel, because that's a very distinctive group.
Yes, it is. Well, there was a guy that came here from the United States to give a tango workshop, which I took, and of course even Isaac took it, and I loved it. But who would you dance with?
Or
It was a one
where?
week workshop.
Mhm.
So he comes back the following year, and I take the workshop again. But the same thing happens if you don't have some place where you can practice.
Or a partner who knows
Or
what you're doing.
exactly. So I decided to get involved, and I met this wonderful singer from Buenos Aires, tango singer, who was living in Mexico City, and someone told me about him. So
Mildred
I
Moscona.
organized this tango show at the theater, Angela Peralta Theater. And I took care of everything from, designing the poster, doing the publicity, selling the tickets,
And did you bring a
MC.
tango orchestra in
Yes, it was
from
a singer.
Mexico City?
And some of them were Argentinian,
Hmm.
but they lived in Mexico City. So
His
I
name is
filled the theater,
Hugo Jordan.
500 people. I know how many people fit in the theater. And there were lines of people trying to get in. So
It was
I noticed there
spectacular.
was a big attraction for that. So I started teaching for beginners. And then later, once I made like 5 trips to Buenos Aires to the tango festivals and the conventions, which were amazing.
And what year did this start
This
happening?
this was probably let's say 25, 30
Oh,
years ago.
yeah.
30, so that would
In the
be
early
what?
90s? Okay.
Yeah. And of course, it became my passion. So I taught for 15 years, and then my partner left to the States. Her name was Sharon.
Hmm.
And so, I kept teaching for a little while, and then I just let everyone else continue. But
Yeah.
what happened also, which was wonderful, is we started having a
Milong.
international tango festival here, which
Really?
lasted for 8 years at the Real de Minas
Hmm.
Hotel.
Hmm.
And that was fabulous because there were people from Buenos Aires, great teachers that would come and teach. And then they did that performance on the last night. Every night there was a milonga so people could practice and dance.
Isak, I want to ask you about your amazing style. I think there are very few people in San Miguel who don't recognize you, even if they don't know your name, because of your style and your presence in Centro and your warmth and talking to everybody. But you always have a very distinctive style of dressing. And have you always had that, or did you develop it here in San Miguel?
No, since I was living in Guanajuato.
Okay.
Because I don't know. It just I like the Indian outfits. Like this is from uh, Tarahumara.
Uh-huh.
It was made by the Tarahumara people.
Hmm.
And my grandmother used to. My mother was uh,
Seamstress.
yeah,
No?
yeah. And my grandmother liked. My mother liked very much the dresses from Yucatan.
Hmm.
That the ones that are always flowers and all.
Yes.
And when I was little, she looked so beautiful in it. So when I moved to Guanajuato, and we used to come here to San Miguel, uh, it was the factory, the manta
Yes.
factory, and I used to buy manta here to make my own things by hand, long things, white.
So, beginning at what age did you start doing this?
Oh,
How old were you?
17, 18, 16, 17, 18.
And you've kept it up so beautifully. And you're, a fashion icon in this
No.
town for your jewelry and your clothing. And you've given delight to so many people.
Oh, thank you.
So, a little earlier, we were talking about fashion shows in San Miguel that you were part of or produced.
No, we did it at the gallery, three.
Okay,
And the last one was with Pepa Pombo,
okay.
which now is very famous
From
Hmm.
Colombia.
from Colombia. Pepa Pombo. And and in general, it was to help like the organizations. They will create the exhibition or the fashion
Right.
show
As a benefit, you produce
and
the fashion shows to
for,
raise money.
to raise money.
Hmm.
And they will invite people to be part of it to exhibit the clothes or to speak in the microphone about this. Now we have this, and now they give you a list this long, and then that was it. It was wonderful.
So, to summarize, how could you describe your 40 something years here in San Miguel in terms of memory and activities? How would you characterize your many years here in San Miguel?
Wonderful, wonderful,
Well,
exciting. It's
yeah,
been So enjoyable. So glad to have moved here. It's a very
It was like
special place.
it's like a dream that you never thought you will have.
What a wonderful description of life in San Miguel. A dream that you never thought you would have. So thank you both. Okay.
Oh, thank you, Stan.
Oh, Sam, thank you.
Please subscribe to the channel, which you will love, and get to know a lot of interesting people that maybe do not exist now, but you'll have a fun time. Hit the like button or the love button. It'll probably be the love button.